You are hitting the same walls over and over. I guarantee it. You probably have 2 or 3 things that you keep hitting that same wall, just slamming into it every year. It's killing you. It's driving you nuts. It's frustrating the hell out of you. And you're not changing it.
Let's watch some videos.
I scaled back my business to figure out my problems because I was going, these are key problems. I've had employees every year, and every year I try scaling up. And I've gotten to the point I was out of the truck at one point in time, and I was like, this is going good. And then it didn't go good. What I'm trying to say there is that these key problems, the more you scale up, will become bigger problems. Things have gotten a lot smoother for me. My problems are down. My profits are up. It's nice. I'm not killing myself, which allows me to, once you figure out all your problems on this small scale. Right now, if you're a small company, figure out all these problems on the smallest scale you can. If you've already got several guys and you don't want to take a cut, figure out those problems now, because as you scale up, those problems only quantify. They get bigger, larger. They don't stop growing until you have to kill those problems. It's like a disease, a cancer in your business that you have to cut out. I've been figuring out all of my problems and going, what is causing the issue? What are the main issues? What's keeping me from success and growth? What's keeping me from being fueled and moving in the right direction? So we're all at different levels. Keep that in mind. Like, if you're irritated that it's not flowing for you at the right time, you might be at a different level. For me, I've had to work through a lot of mental kinks because of where I grew up and growing up poor. And when I was real young, okay, I was in a trailer and we had to crap in a bucket and we dumped the bucket out. I mean, we were that poor. So coming from that scenario to being in an area where there's an abundance of money, my mental shift isn't fully there. And so that's why price increases and coming up with minimums and setting myself to the right standards of where I need to be, figuring out the numbers and everything that go behind that so I can justify those prices, have been a huge benefit to my business as well. So that's something you have to do. If there's some kind of mental blockage on why you're not pushing yourself in the right direction, like you are hitting the same walls over and over, I guarantee it. You probably have 2 or 3 things that you keep hitting that same wall, just slamming into it every year. It's killing you. It's driving you nuts. It's frustrating the hell out of you. And you're not changing it. Like this year, I look at it and I'm like, well, I didn't do much different than the other year. I did a massive amount of difference. A massive amount of difference. I didn't work as much. I made more money. I started pushing in the right direction. I started working out the tiny little problems that turn into massive problems when you put employees in the mix. Employees complicate everything. It doesn't get easier with employees. The only thing that gets easier with employees is the workload on your body. If you're doing work and you're doing it by yourself, you will grind and kill yourself. You will grind. When they talk about grind, that is grinding. You are grinding like sandpaper, okay? And you can grind in a different way and hustle and get work going in, or you can physically grind. You don't want to physically grind. There's nothing wrong with having a formula. Like Spencer has a formula. He does it solo and he does it very well. He's very efficient. He's good with it. He's in the right mental state to do so. You may not be in the right mental state. If you are burning out, you're not in the right mental state. Just getting like I said, the small problems. So what were my small problems? Come down to little simple things. Pricing. Okay, I had a client call today. I don't know if you have had this similar experience, let me know. I had 2 clients that kept doing this, okay? They would drop me, they would pick me up, and then they would shortly after drop me, use another company, say they were cheaper, and ask me to take them back on. And because I had 2 more right beside them, yeah, I'll match them, whatever, let's get you back on board. One of them, I said, hey, what will it take to make you stay loyal to my company? Is it $5 difference? They mow for $5 less to keep going to the same guy for 2 or 3 months and then come back to me. No, I don't want that. That's unloyal. You know I do a great service. You tell me I do a great service, and then you ditch me. So one of them called today. My wife and I were in the car, and one of them called today and said, "Oh, it's blah blah blah. I'm not gonna say your name. It's blah blah blah. Do you remember? Yes, I remember you. Headache client. Oh, good. Can you put me back on your schedule? Yeah, sure. The minimum's 50. Do you know what she said? Oh, I can't afford 50. Okay. It got quiet, and then we hung up. That's where the conversation ended. And my wife kind of laughed about it. And I liked it because, no, I don't want to mow for you. I have two lawns that are side by side, but I do not want to go mow for that woman for the rest of the year, mow for her in the spring when it's growing like crazy, not get to mow her yard when it's easy in the summertime and it slows down and everything gets easy, and then have to take her in the fall, and she doesn't want a price increase for leaves or anything else. She always complains about the price. She's a headache client. Get rid of the headache clients. Stop mowing for the people you don't want to mow for. Stop working for the people you don't want to work for. Start building your business to be your business. Start setting your standards. When you don't set yourself in stone, this is how I'm going to do it. This is how I've got to be. I've got to be hard on what I want to do. This is my agreement. This is my standard. So if you don't have a contract, I don't use contracts because I'm like 98% residential. And then the 2 or 3 commercial properties I have are either an industrial park or the other ones like on a main street. But it's this tiny little mom and pop shop. Like if you don't have contracts or anything else, like you have to set yourself in stone on your service agreement. And whether your service agreement is just something verbal to yourself that you write down, like if you say it, like if it keeps coming up, I've talked to you about having a book where you write down your problems, start solving those problems. But if you have that book and it comes up with something that should be a service agreement, something like, I only want to mow weekly because I keep showing up to these weeklies and the grass is ridiculous and it makes me sick. I don't want to mow yards where they disrespect me or they're cheap. Like sometimes you have to bite your lip and do that kind of stuff. I want to work towards better properties. I want to have route density. I don't want to mow all over town. If it's out of a hard route, make a hard route. Like give yourself hard defined borders. This street, this street, this street, and this street. Make a square. I don't go out of that square. And at this point, I'm going to wrap up this live. I'm going to spend some time with my wife. You guys have a good one. Before ending this video, I got to give a big shout out to Adam Devine. This winter, he put together a service agreement for his business, and he also built a really good contract that he's using for residential clients. So I'm going to link his channel in the description below. 2 videos where he's got his service agreement and his contracts. Check that out. So go ahead and check out his channel. I know he's going to have a really good channel as he grows. So go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell because I guarantee you he's going to be putting out some good stuff. You guys have a good one.
Down here, it just shows a little bit of, a way that we can kind of come to a starting point for our prices per square foot and a price behind that, okay? Okay, canceling and postponing services. Remember, initial these once you read through them and understand them. There is no cancellation fee. We do require a 30-day verbal or written notice before canceling, okay? That is to me. That's not telling any of my employees. Our contract is between you and me, not you and my employees. So you tell me, not my employees, okay? If you need to postpone a weekly service to the following week, you will then be charged for a bi-weekly service. Makes sense, right? We don't do bi-weekly rates at weekly prices.